What's going on? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It is Friday, April 16th. You all know what that means, so we're going to kick it off with the return of seminal California punk rockers, the Offspring, and their brand new record, Let the Bad Times Roll, which you can probably discern is a take on the Cars classic, Let the Good Times Roll. But we live in tumultuous times, especially in the last couple of years, so it's nice to have Dexter and co. return to provide their sardonic and snarky perspective to the tune of some awesome, fast-paced punk rock tunes. This is their 10th studio album. It is their first in 9 years, first since 2012's Days Go By. All the usual suspects are back. Dexter Hall, Noodles, Pete Parada on drums. Yeah, I wore this shirt for a reason. Go face to face. Sadly, Greg K did not return. Really bums me out. I've always dug him as a bass player, loved his work with the Offspring over the years. So it's sad to see him go. He's replaced by Todd Morse of H2O. Todd has been a long-time touring guitarist with the Offspring, and so it kind of makes sense from a personnel standpoint. Probably a lot of chemistry built there over the years, and he's doing a fine job on the bass. There's a couple songs on here actually where I'm really digging his bass work. 12 new songs at 33 minutes. Well, kind of new songs. I'm going to get into that. Going to build on the point. Dexter Hall checking all the boxes as far as lyrical content here. I've always appreciated the way that he has fun on songs, but can also balance that with addressing major, serious social issues. A lot of people are saying that this is a very political album, that Dexter is fighting Trumpism, which I don't necessarily agree with. He talks about the lead single, Let the Bad Times Roll. He even says, I could have written a cheap song like Screw Trump, but he's a smart guy, and he acknowledges that the problem is bigger than just Trump. It is our whole political system, and so I appreciate that perspective. I admire his viewpoints on that. And in acknowledging that the situation is just bigger than one man, which it really is. The album opens up with This Is Not Utopia. Great 4-chord, fast-paced punk rock banger. Noodles incorporates a great riff into the closing of the track. I love the hook too. The roots, the roots, the roots of America, the roots, the roots, the roots of hysteria. It's kind of dark, kind of bleak. But in order to fix a problem, you do have to address it first. That's basically what this song does, lays the framework to let the album roll into Let the Bad Times Roll. Generally, these type of lead single pop punk kind of Offspring songs turn me off. Think of Pretty Fly for a White Guy, things of that nature. They don't do it for me. I like Offspring when they're hitting hard, they're hitting fast. Think of Genocide. I love Noodles and his incorporation of Eastern musical scales into their music. So that's one of my favorite things about these guys. But Let the Bad Times Roll is a very well put together song, super catchy, solid, digging the lyrics. It took a couple of listens to grow on me a little bit, but I'm buying into it. I love the song, really impressed with it. Behind Your Walls is the third track on the album, and Dexter certainly over the years has dealt with the issue of mental health. Lots of songs I think of. Gotta Get Away From Me from Smash, probably one of my favorite Offspring tunes. But Behind Your Walls and then Breaking These Bones, two songs that he talks about, that deal with the issue of mental health. And, he talks about getting older and losing some people over the last few years, and it's a tough thing to do. And what I like about both of these songs, and what I'll say to all of you, is that if there's anybody in your life, even if you doubt for just a little bit, just reach out, just let them know that you care. I think oftentimes that's really just what people need, just to know that you love them. It can be tough, and especially now, a lot of us have spent a lot of time in alone. It's been a tough go the last couple of years for everybody mentally. So I love the way that Dexter handles the lyrical content on this, shows some vulnerability there. And again, if there's anybody in your life that you're worried about, just reach out to them. Let them know that you care. We never have sex anymore. Finally get to see Dexter Hall and have a little fun. It's the 7th track on the album, and really loving the horn arrangements, the way that he incorporates those with this heavy punk riff in the song. And again, it's another one of those pop tracks that normally would kind of scare me, but I'm digging. Really, especially this song. I think they could have maybe thrown that out as the lead single. Might make an appearance as a single though. Coming For You, I love the disco, just like funky bass riff on that track. Really digging that song. It's pretty well done. And then the 8th track is In the Hall of the Mountain King. That's right. They did a all-instrumental cover of the classical music tune. And I'm sure if you know anything about Noodles, he's likes to joke that he likes the finer things in life: cigarettes, red wine, classical music, and so I'm sure he had a lot of fun recording that guitar riff for that song. It's pretty cool. Track 9, The Opioid Diaries. Again, you have Dexter addressing something that really has become a major issue in our country, so I'm glad that he wrote a song about that, addressing it. You know, the state of, I don't know, the medical industry in our country is pretty sad, the way that they've, you know, just diseased people. And so good on you, Dexter, for addressing that issue in that song. My beef with the album, to get to the negative side of it, and it really just bums me out because this thing is pretty fast paced and hits so hard, but it fizzles out. They do this great rendition of Gone Away. It's just Dexter and the piano. I love just the vulnerability of his tenor when it's just him and a piano. You get you know, there's like some tiny little mistakes in his voice, but it's just so raw, and that's punk rock in and of itself, and it works. I mean, it's a great way for them to slow down their live show, you know, take a breather, do a cool little interlude, but it just feels out of place on this record. I feel like, you know, there was a big demand from their fan base asking where they could find this song, so Dexter talks about them incorporating the track for that reason. It doesn't seem right on this album, though, honestly. And then it closes with Lullaby, which is basically just a 1.5-minute reprise of Let the Bad Times Roll. And so my beef being, my big beef is that for 12 songs, you have 2 that are only a minute long. You have Gone Away, which is a song that's been out for 25 years. They're just doing a cover of it. And then Coming For You is a song that they released 6 years ago, I believe, as a single. So it's not really new. You've probably heard it before. And while it's great, it's been around. It doesn't feel as fresh as the other 8 songs that are on this record. And so while I'm really liking all 8 of those songs, after a decade, this just feels a little lackluster. It doesn't quite scratch the itch for me, sadly. And so I'm going to give this a vinyl pass, as much as I'm loving the first half of the record. The first 8 songs are absolutely, the first 9 songs are absolutely amazing. It's just the way that this thing, like I said, fizzles out, that leaves me feeling disappointed, leaves me wanting more, leaves me looking forward to another Offspring record that doesn't take 9 years to come out, because I love this band. I love what they're doing for the most part on this record. But as far as spending the money on the vinyl package, I'm going to have to pass on it, sadly. It's not a decision I wanted to make. It was a tough one to make for all of you. But you're also big kids and can make that decision for yourself if you want to buy the vinyl package. I'm sure they got one out there. I'm sure they always put together cool vinyl packages. I love the copy of Smash that I have. It's on this dirty orange vinyl. It's phenomenal. So please enjoy listening to this album. I hope you find this review helpful. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and tune into the live show on Sunday nights. And we will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.